The lions are surrounded by wildebeest on their annual migration. A quarter-ton bull would make a good meal for all 10 of the pride. But even though Charm is an experienced hunter, most attempts end in failure. Charm uses her hind legs to knock the wildebeest off balance. The smallest cubs won't be able to catch food for themselves for another 12 months. Their ever-growing appetites mean that Charm and Sienna have to hunt around the clock. The females are often forced to head out alone. Tonight, it's Sienna's turn. Sunrise. Sienna is seriously injured. She's too weak to move. A lone lion is always at risk of attack by buffalo, hyenas, even other lion prides. It's evening, and Sienna hasn't returned to her family. Now, everything depends on Charm. They're setting off on the greatest overland trek made by any animal. But wherever grass-eaters travel, predators lie in wait. Here they are, Arctic wolves. They must seize their chance while the caribou pass through their territory. The wolf runs at the herd, trying to flash out the weak or the slow. A calf is separated. At full tilt, 60 kilometers an hour, the wolf is just faster. But the calf has stamina. Only a few weeks old, and this calf's will to survive is remarkable. And it needs to be, for these young caribou have now started a journey that will last a lifetime. Forever chasing the seasonal growth of the grass on which they depend. Like all grassland creatures, they are at the mercy of these unpredictable but ultimately bountiful lands. Grass can survive some of the harshest conditions on Earth: flood, fire and frost, and still flourish. So it is that grasslands provide a stage for the greatest gatherings of wildlife on planet Earth. But leopards are the most versatile of all the big cats, adept at finding cover in the most unpromising places. The steep walls of the gully are now her cover for an ambush. The male puku is close enough, but he's too big to tackle. She needs to slip past him without being seen. If he spots her, he'll blow her cover. Slowly does it. To succeed here, she needs to find prey grazing close to the edge, or better still, in the gully itself. Frustration. Success would have staved off hunger for a week. But while there's prey around, there's hope. Peeking over the top is a risk, but it's the quickest way to find a new target. A burst of speed of 65 kilometers an hour, and it's all over in less than 6 seconds. Except it isn't. Dazed and disorientated, the impala makes a miraculous escape. As they mature, young males begin to explore the boundaries of the pride's territory. Red has ventured out alone. And blundered straight into the middle of the hyena clan. He's trapped by over 20 of them. The pack tries to wear him down. This number of hyenas could kill him. It's impossible to fight them all at once. He can't keep them at bay for much longer. He's tiring fast. His ally, Tartu, has heard the commotion. Now the odds have changed. Even for 20 hyenas, a pair of male lions is too much to take on. Red is lucky. Tartu has saved his cousin's life. And now Now the snakes are on the alert. This is the best feeding opportunity they will get all year. On flat ground, a baby iguana can outrun a racer snake. But others are waiting in ambush. Another hatchling has its first glimpse of a dangerous world. A snake's eyes aren't very good, but they can detect movement. So if the hatchling keeps its nerve, it may just avoid detection. A near miraculous escape. The lucky survivors could begin learning the unique way of life demanded by this hostile island. Mother is after eggs, but getting them is not going to be easy. The geese will risk their lives to protect their eggs. If they lose them, they can't produce another clutch this season. The fox wins. She gives the first eggs to her young pups. And then heads back for more. Some of the eggs she stashes away. They will be food to help her through the coming winter. In just 3 weeks, she will steal over 800 eggs from the geese. But eating a big egg is not easy if one is rather small. It's a technique the pups haven't quite yet cracked. Mum shows how it's done. And this bobcat may be in luck. For this particular valley is blessed. A river here never freezes. It's fed by a volcanic hot spring that heats these waters to 50 degrees warmer than the surrounding air. Hungry animals of all kinds come here to feed. Throughout the winter, the river is full of food for those who know how to catch it. Here, even the coyotes have become fishermen. But hunting is hard for a cat that's not used to getting its feet wet. So he must choose his target with care. Golden-eye ducks. But can he get close enough to pounce? Perhaps he'll have more luck on the other side. Here, steam from the river warms the surrounding trees, So up in the branches, there could be prey. If only he could get to it. It's 6 meters up. At last, a squirrel. Not much, but enough to keep him going. To survive a winter in these mountains takes tenacity, and bobcats have that in abundance. Somewhere along this seemingly barren stretch of sand, there is food in great quantity. Fur seals. There are around 10,000 of them here. Adult seals are large and strong. But their pups are neither. The youngsters are closely guarded by their mothers. The hyena, however, knows to be patient. Sooner or later, seal mothers must return to the ocean to cool off. A single seal pup could feed a hyena and her family for days. But finding food is only half the battle. It now has to be carried back. A jackal is here too. And it's not alone. If a hyena loses her kill, she'll have nothing with which to feed her cubs. The jackals won't follow her very far from the coast. It's too hot for them in the desert interior. Only by making these long journeys can brown hyenas manage to survive in the middle of the Namib. Losing its fear of humans has enabled one animal to spread into cities everywhere and in huge numbers. Pigeons are by far the most successful urban bird. Here in Albi in the south of France, the pigeons come to the river to bathe. They need to preen their flight feathers, clean off the city dust, and cool themselves down. But death lies in wait. A predator that has taken advantage of the very thing that has led to the pigeon's success. their lack of fear. As the pigeons bathe, oil from their plumage flows downstream and is detected. A monstrous Wells catfish. Introduced here just 40 years ago, they have proliferated. Virtually exterminated the local fish stocks, and they've now developed a taste for pigeon. Their eyesight is poor, so they use their barbels to sense the movements of their victims. This is a radical new hunting strategy for what is normally a bottom-dwelling fish. After 1,000 years of living in this city, pigeons are now having to learn to avoid a fish. In just 3 weeks, 500,000 calves are born on these ash-rich plains. That's 24,000 a day, 1,000 an hour. Calves stand up within a few minutes of being born, though some need a little more time to find their feet. But a mother won't let her calf suckle until it's mastered a few physical skills. Walking, trotting, and running. Wildebeest calves must run if they're to stay alive. For these plains also support the greatest assembly of hunters on the planet. Each species has its own special hunting technique, but all have the same aim: to make the most of this brief superabundance of life. Only 1 in 10 wildebeest calves will survive to adulthood. But that is enough to maintain the million-strong herd of wildebeest and the planet's highest density of predators. It's July in the deserts of Nevada in the western United States. The hottest time of the year. Bands of wild horses, Mustang, are converging on one of the last remaining waterholes around. Now, water not only offers them the chance to drink, it can also bring power. If a stallion can control access to water, he will have secured mating rights to the entire herd. So stallions try to dominate these pools, fighting off rivals who venture too close. A stranger. He's travelled 15 kilometres to be here, because the pools where he's come from have already dried up. With him come his females. If he can't provide them with water, they will leave him for the white stallion, who already dominates this pool. So he will have to fight. Everything to lose. A broken leg or a shattered jaw would mean a slow and painful death. A missed kick. And it's all over. The new arrival has won. And his prize is more than just a chance to drink. He has provided for his herd and in the process stolen his rival's females. The white stallion's rule is over.
She enters into the maze of gullies. The damp channel margins are carpeted with grass that lures in grazing antelope. Still, they remain on high alert. Stealth is the best weapon. placing faith in perfect camouflage. The trap is set. Just a few more careless steps, and they'll be inside the required 30-foot range. Clamping her jaws over both nose and mouth, she can stay clear of those stiletto horns and cut off its airflow. But a spotted hyena is drawn to the commotion. Close to twice the weight of a leopard, armed with bone-crushing jaws. This opportunist won't pass up the chance to cash in on the hard work of others. This time, one very lucky impala gets a second chance at life.
For many years, Blacktip has lived in peaceful coexistence with her mother, each with enough territory to survive. But Blacktip's pack has grown huge. It's now 30 strong. For the first time, she needs more territory if she's to feed her growing family. Normally, a daughter would not invade her mother's territory. However, with hyenas ruling to the south, and humans having taken the hunting lands to the west, Blacktip has no choice but to turn her sights east, towards her mother's lands. Where, after a morning's hunt, Tate and her pack are resting. Blacktip's pack outnumbers her mother's by more than 2 to 1. odds, Tate is powerless. Retreat is the only option. This has now become Blacktip's territory. A brief but bloody battle. Tate and her pack are now homeless. She retreats eastwards. But this is dangerous country. Blacktip reef sharks. They are bigger and more powerful than trevally, but not as fast or as agile. The hardyheads are well aware of them, but so long as they stay just out of reach, they have little to fear. But now the sharks and the trevally join forces. Together, they enter the shallows, each looking for a chance to attack. The trevally make the first move, and the hardyheads take refuge again in the waves. And this is what the sharks have been waiting for. Surging forwards, they chase the hardyheads out of the water, beaching themselves in a daring bid to hoover up their prey. The hardyheads that escape the sharks swim back out to deeper water, but into the mouths of the trevally. Now the receding waves help to pull the sharks back into deeper water. The seabirds get their chance. It's a feeding frenzy in only 10 centimeters of water. Lions will normally avoid hunting in such heat, but they're also opportunists. The lions will need to bring him down quickly before they overheat. away from the herd, a bull is a formidable opponent. It could gore and kill a lion. Close to overheating, they finally succeed in bringing him to the ground. But the massive bull is not giving up. Against the odds and the full weight of the lions, he regains his feet. And it is now that the tables turn. The lions are exhausted. After a 20-minute struggle, only the bull has the energy to finish the fight. In such exposed and extreme conditions, the challenge for predators and their prey is at its most intense. The forests of central China, home to the golden snub-nosed monkey. They will not survive the fast-approaching winter unless they stock up on calorie-rich food. Top of their autumn menu, pine cones. They grew during the summer sunlight and are rich in fats. Few are now left, and time to gather them is running out. Dominant males patrol the troop, making sure they get the pick of the crop. As the number of pine cones dwindles, tensions between the rival families increase. Mere threats between two males may not be enough to settle disputes. Conflict is in the air. There's going to be a fight. Vital food is at stake, so every pine cone is worth fighting for. victor and his family enjoy the spoils of war. The losers get no more than a few dead leaves and will have fewer energy reserves for the coming winter. Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean. For millions of years, this remote speck of land has been ruled by crabs. Their ancestors came from the sea, but most have now adopted a land-based existence. Given there are so many of them, they get along relatively harmoniously. They're the gardeners and caretakers of a tiny crab utopia. Once a year, they must all return to the sea to breed, and the march of the red crabs is one of the greatest natural spectacles on Earth. There are 50 million of them. It's an event that has brought the island worldwide fame. But in recent years, millions of red crabs haven't managed to reach the sea. An invader has occupied this island. Yellow crazy ants. They escaped from visiting ships, and with no predators to control them, they have now created vast super colonies in the forest. When migrating red crabs march into their territory, the ants attack, squirting acid into the crabs' eyes and mouths. The crabs have no defense. Blinded and confused, they're doomed. Humans brought these ant invaders here, and now humans are having to control them. Isolated communities may evolve for millions of years in relative peace. But when new challenges arrive, they can struggle to cope. Of all the species that have become extinct in recent years, around 80% have been islanders.